Welcome to the Trash Cats Trash Cast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today I'm all cranked up on cold medicine. I'm definitely some kind of sick, but Steven's going to edit all that part out.
Are you seeing the Benadryl demons? And why would I edit that out? That was a beautiful intro.
The intro was great, but that's because I just cleared my nose before we turned on recording. But don't worry, I'm gonna need another one here in a little bit.
I think what really happened is you were trying to get out of recording tonight. So you said, "Hey man, I'm a little sick," and I said, "I don't fucking care. We're recording." And now you're having to commit to the bit and pretend you're sick. I think that's where we're at, and we should both acknowledge it.
That's also why I laid in bed and on the couch all day and ate a bunch of spicy soups and some tea with honey.
You committed to the bit. You're method acting.
And I'm taking cold medicine just for the fun of it.
That's just your addiction. And your
that's my Wednesday ritual.
Your poor mental health in action. Now,
taking nighttime cold meds in the morning.
So, like, we find ourselves in the situation where you're trying to get out of recording, and I would like to say, prove it. I don't think you can prove you're sick. I don't believe you.
I guess you're right. I mean, if I was actually sick, I wouldn't have showed up at all.
Exactly. Now imagine...
if I was in a bad way, I wouldn't be here right now.
Exactly. So imagine this is a life and death scenario. So just pretend, because this definitely couldn't happen at all. Remember that junkie lady on your street that almost stabbed you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, it turns out I know her. Okay. And I put some money on her books about a month ago in return for a favor. And
good.
I cashed in my favor tonight. And I said, hey, if Ricky doesn't pass my sick test on this podcast, I am paying her to come to your home and kill you. Okay, this is life and death. So I would like you to prove that you're actually sick so you don't get stabbed or shot by a crazy lady.
Let's
what do you got?
Let's try for one of these.
You could present your evidence to the judge. If you send me pictures of dirty tissues, that's nothing. That's circumstantial at best.
That's just a gooner horde.
Yeah, dude, how do I know you didn't just spit in it? We need bacterial tests. Okay, that's a good start. Okay.
Here's what I'm trying to get is
okay.
I blew my nose, but I threw away the last one. So I do have the mucus is like a yellowish color.
Okay. You could have used food dye.
Just put some food dye in my nose.
Yeah. Or maybe you just had expired lube you needed to get rid of.
some old clumping lube.
Dude, that's the worst when it dries out on the cap and it gets all crusty, and that's not good.
Oh yeah, it's like that first hit of mustard. You got to make sure you get it get the little first bit out in the trash first, and then.
So, like, life or death, you really couldn't prove it, could you?
I suppose not. I feel like I definitely, my voice is off for sure.
No, I think you sound as you always do.
You couldn't even say it with a straight face. You sound fine, man. There's nothing wrong.
You sound great. No, it is annoying as fuck when you're at work and someone complains about being sick and they're not very sick. You're like... Like, I would go to work more dope sick than you are real sick most days, motherfucker. Yeah. Stop whining. Yeah.
I get that too. I've been on the kick of like, especially in food service, like if you're actually sick, I don't want you to be here because for the potential that mainly and my thing, like I'm not even like, obviously like foodborne stuff, like you can pass some stuff, but like if you just have like a cold, it's like, I'm not concerned about the food so much. If you're like washing your hands and whatever and using gloves and, keeping your snot out of the fucking food, you'd be fine. It's the other people you're working with. And if, one person out sick isn't a big deal, but if, 3 people are out, for the next 4 days because you came in the sick once.
It's basic algebra at that point.
Yeah, it's bad news. So, yesterday, I had to go to, I had to do my boss's job, cause he was doing some delivery missions.
Ooh.
So I had to do his job, which is a lot more work than it has been in the past to do my boss's job.
I mean, because
he actually does shit.
Isn't that definitionally just what being an employee is? Doing your boss's job?
Well, when I say that, I mean doing the things that only he does on a regular basis.
I don't think bosses do that much, but sure.
Typically, you are correct. I would say normally that is true.
But you got a good boss though.
I have a good one.
Okay.
And he actually does shit, and it makes it difficult.
We'll give him a pass.
Yeah. So, and I was just doing the kind of the fun part of his job, which is like taking stuff to our spot at the zoo and making sure they have what they need. But he was like, you don't have to do it like. Usually we go early in the morning where you can drive your car in and like, deliver stuff that way. So you don't have to like carry it in with the cart and all that other shit.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't got to go that early in the morning. It's not going to be that much. You can take a cart in. Just, that way you don't have to like come in early or whatever. And I was like, all right, cool. I can do that. So I go down there and I have this cart full of stuff, and it's not like that it's a lot, but it's heavy. It's just a lot of heavy shit.
Is it pounds of fruit again, right?
It's fucking, there are some of that, but mostly popsicles.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I'm like cases and cases and cases of popsicles.
Yeah.
And we pack them pretty dense. Anyways, as I'm carrying them in there, there's like, during the open hours, you have to go down, like take this ramp down and then a ramp up so you can go around because they have the train that runs through or whatever.
Yeah, it's typical nonsensical zoo architecture. It's always stupid as fuck, yeah.
Yep, of course. So I have this fucking hand cart with, way above the payload that this hand cart is supposed to be working with.
Right.
Going down wasn't that big of a deal. You just hold on and get your weight behind it and
let it drag you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but the way up, of course, that's the one that's much harder. So because, I usually find it easier to kind of like go up backwards with it when you got a lot of weight.
Sure.
And that way you're kind of pulling instead of, pushing it up. And as I was doing that, I twisted my ankle in a way that it didn't like. And not like a severe injury, but enough that it was like, oh, that really hurts. And now I still have to walk around the rest of the zoo with this cart.
Of course.
And deliver all this shit.
Real quick, I just want to say, motorcycles are so cool. They're just so fucking cool. I just love motorcycles. Okay, continue.
In Michigan, there's only like 4 months out of the year maybe that you can ride a motorcycle, and boy do they.
Yeah, so it's like having a 10,000 pound trophy. How much does a motorcycle weigh? 1,000 pounds?
Maybe, not even.
Probably not. What? 400 pounds?
It's
like having a 400 pound trophy that just says, I'm a fucking idiot, that you just park in your house for 3/4 of the year.
It's pretty, I guess it's a hobby, I guess, maybe, but like.
It's a problem.
Boy, it's an expensive.
It's a problem. Dude, they're like.
It's an addiction.
They're like
Get over it.
One tier above firefighters.
I think also the protocol for owning a motorcycle in Detroit area is you have to drive it by my house.
Oh, of course.
Preferably between the hours of 1
a.m. and 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, just to get back to your story, because I know how this game works, because we would use, your hand trucks for swimming pool walls, and they're like, those things, I do know how much they weigh, and it's a lot, okay? But did it do one of those where it gave you your shoe a flat tire, and you corked your ankle under a wheel?
No, not even, because it was down the hill from me. I'm up the hill from it, pulling it. And
what are you twisting on? A pebble?
I don't even know that it was twisting. It was more of a, I think it was just because I was applying pressure and my foot was angled down the hill. I don't know.
You got fragile feet?
Apparently, I got them weak boy ankles. I did sprain my ankle. My right ankle I sprained twice last year. My left I got once, and I do have a what's it called? A broken a ligament in my right ankle from when I was 18. Those don't grow back.
You know why though, right?
Why?
Because you're not drinking enough milk. You ain't got tough tendons, bro.
You're right. I'm not drinking enough milk. That is actually true.
How are you going to get tough tendons unless you're sucking on cows? You know what I mean?
straight from the teat.
That's what I do. That's why I got tough tendies, bro.
Sometimes when you don't have cows, you don't have access to cows. You keep them deer in the backyard.
Or you know what we call a
around spring, it's dripping season.
You know what we call a gerbil, right?
What's that?
A portable cow. That's how you keep your tendons tough, bro. Ain't gonna catch me.
Keep a gerbil in your pocket.
Ain't gonna catch me twisting my ankles at a zoo. There's so much milk available at a zoo.
There's all kinds of milk available at the zoo. Every mammal in there makes milk.
Why do people have to pay for sodas and shit? Why don't they just give you the milk of the animal you're visiting? That would be way cooler, dude.
Here's some tiger milk.
Dude, hell yeah.
Tiger milk would be sick.
Do you remember the tiger wine?
Yes.
I want to try it. It's illegal, though. All right, so you're destroying your body physically, right?
Yeah. So the best part is, as was with the fruit, there's a time limit because it's 90 degrees outside.
I forgot.
And I have popsicles.
It's Mission Impossible. You're on the clock once again. Yeah, melting.
Yeah, it's a lot more drastic this time because it's not like, oh, they get warm and they get a little soft or brown or whatever. It's like they get warm, they melt, and they're not good anymore.
So I assume you're taping your ankles up on a hill.
Not even. Okay. I'm just going for it. I'm just dealing with it. I'm in.
You laced your Jordans back up and.
I got my Bistro Crocs on.
Yeah, dude.
I'm fucking going for it. And after I got that done, I go back and I'm driving back to the warehouse and like I'm feeling it, but it's like, all right, I'll be fine. I just gotta get through. Like I got the next 2 days off. I'll be good. And as I pull back in, I'm talking to my other like co-manager there, and I'm like, so like what do you got working on? Like, what do you think we should, need to get done today? Yada, yada. And as we're talking, she like kind of pauses real quick and she was like, I gotta sit down, or I need to go stand the walk-in for a minute. So I follow her in there and she's like, I just got really faint all of a sudden. I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I was like, oh shit. Like that sucks. Like, what can I do for you? Like, can I bring you something? And after talking for a little bit, she starts telling me that like she started feeling like allergy stuff a couple of days ago, and kind of felt like shitty last night. And so eventually, long story short,
she gave you COVID.
I already told. Yeah, the long story short, because I was feeling it before she had said all this too. Like I've also been feeling sick for a few days now.
Sure.
It was just like typical allergy stuff, but I had already told her that I was like trying to get out of there early if possible, like because we had enough people there. Like I didn't need to be there all day. And after talking with her for a minute, I was like, just go home. She was like, I don't want to leave you there to deal with, closing and all that. And I was like, I'll be fine. Just go home. You're good. And then as she's leaving, I'm like, oh no, wait. Actually, I'm not ready to do this.
Bro, you know what happened, right?
What's that?
You got lady tricked.
Yeah, I know, 100%. She used her feminine wiles to manipulate me.
They're so good at it.
Just fall for it every goddamn time.
It's hard not to.
And, but she took a break to kind of like catch a breath and then went home. And
then you suffered for 8 hours.
It was so many like small things that were just like fully preventable, like small accidents. Stuff got spilled or dropped, or someone made a mess with some other shit, or like we had an issue with like the wrapping machine for a second that was like giving me problems, and then by the end of the day, like we're looking like, all right, we're all in the clear. We just got to go wrap a couple more things, and then we're out of here. And I get a call from my boss who's on the road, and they're like, hey, we just got another order for this, for the fuck ballpark, and they need all these, they need these, like, 60 something cases.
And you said, don't worry, boss, I'm already at work.
Like they need like 60 something cases by this weekend. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go check and, whatever. We'll make it happen. Like, I'll come in tomorrow if I have to. And they're like, well, you don't have to do that. I was like, but I think I do though. Cause like, so that's just how that goes. If we need it, we need it. So I get off with them and I go and I'm like in the freezer and I'm counting shit. And we have enough of most of them, but there is another flavor that they asked for that we don't make. I have a recipe for, we just haven't made it because we decided we weren't going to like sell it anywhere this year. So I was like, okay, I can't just put someone else on that. Like, I got to do that.
Remember when Jesse from Breaking Bad was chained to the meth lab?
I've actually never seen Breaking Bad all the way through.
Okay, well, that's a mistake. That's a choice and a mistake that you've made. Yep. But he gets captured by the cartel, and he's essentially chained to the meth lab, so he can only make meth. And that's what having a job at a popsicle place is like for you.
Some days it feels like that.
But your chain is your phone and your responsibility.
Yeah, it's my overwhelming inner sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyways, everything worked out. Everything worked out great yesterday. It felt like it took forever to get there. And then I got home last night, and as I'm sitting on the couch like resting, I just started feeling like more and more shitty, and I couldn't breathe. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt shitty. And I think I woke up at like 3:00 and I made some ramen.
Yeah.
And I put a bunch of pepper powder in it.
Are you going up or going down now? Are you better or worse?
It's hard to tell because I'm on a bunch of cold medicine.
Gotcha.
So
the Benadryl Smurfs are distracting you.
Yeah, I feel like the symptoms are better, but also I definitely feel high and loopy.
Yeah.
Because I exclusively take nighttime cold medicine.
Yeah. You got to keep it queasy,
It's like, what's the fucking point if it's not going to make it easier to sleep? If I'm not going to be a little bit buzzed while I'm getting through this.
Yeah. Now, how's your ankles? I would imagine in your situation, you probably just double dosed your human growth hormone, and you're probably on the mend already. I almost said GHB, which would be way funnier, but
I have I have Wolverine bones, so I just kind of heal real quickly.
That'll do it.
So ankle's fine.
Gotcha. Good.
Put it up last night, and I put ice on it pretty quick when I got back. It was all good.
Oh yeah. Now, speaking of accidents, I think I told you I've been on. When you try really hard at work?
No.
When you try like extra hard and you still do a terrible job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you're like, this is bullshit because I should not be trying this hard to begin with. And for me to be trying to work this hard and not hit the goals is bullshit. And you feel like mentally beaten. Or like...
Yeah, that's straight up the days when I've gone home from work early where I'm like, hey, I've been cranking on this for like 2.5 hours and I'm moving slow. I've tried coffee. I just feel like shit. I am not like, it's not worth like the effort right now for me to be here doing this. It's making me want to hurt myself. It sucks.
Yeah. So that's how my last 2 days have been. And yesterday... I'm like, I have 15 minutes left at work, right? And I know if I don't finish the last 15 minutes, it's going to drive me nuts, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I get a call from my neighbor, the old lady up the hill. And I've talked about her a little bit. But I also don't want to, like, I don't know, blow her up, whatever. But she's kind of a crazy old bat. And for years, for like the last 4 years, she has taken my trash cans in every week. And she gives me stacks and stacks of classical and jazz and instrumental and opera, all these CDs, because her partner was a professional music reviewer person. So she's been incredibly gracious to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always would try to stop her from doing my cans because I'm afraid she's going to fall. So her and her husband are both like 85 years old. They both have cancer and they both have bone disorders and are like struggling, right? But
right.
You know, she's strong-willed. I can't tell her what to do. She does what she wants.
I tried to stop her from, mowing my lawn and taking my trash out for me and cleaning my gutters out, but she insists.
She's like a glass tank, where like you can't really get in her way unless you're willing to break her because you know what I mean? But
there's the argument also of like there's a little bit of that is like goes a long way if they're not getting out of the house much also.
Yeah.
It's like having something to do like that on a regular
That's what she
basis
told me. Yeah.
It's good.
But I'm always like worried. But over the last like year, I've become we've become more ingrained in each other's lives because she's not doing as well now. Which means I'm going over there, I'm taking her cans in, which I don't mind, really. And I help do some other stuff around their house or whatever. But I'm like 15 minutes from being off work, and I get a call, and she says, hey, I guess you didn't read my emails. And I'm like, I don't. She sends me 10 emails a day some days. So I'm like, I'm at work. She knows I'm at work. No, I didn't see the emails. She's like, hey, my partner fell. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, is this an emergency? And she says, no, it's not. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know when she sent the emails. I don't know if this is a fall where like they've been on the floor 2 days, 20 minutes, an hour, if things are broken, or,
right.
Some old people, it's like they fall and it's really like just like a turtle thing. They just are struggling to get up, but they're not injured at all. And I'm like, hey, is this an emergency? Do we need to call 911? Should I run over? Can I finish work? Like, what's the sit rep here? She's like, just come over in a few minutes. And I'm like, trying to get work done. I had to skip some shit and run out the door, right?
Right.
I've really only, like, heard their partner's voice from, like, across the room or whatever. I don't really know them, so it's a bit uncomfortable or whatever. But I get there, and I'm not, like, making fun of them at all. I understand. We get old. Our bodies betray us. And they had medical conditions that are a part of this equation, but they weigh over 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
They have bone disorders and are 80 plus with cancer. And they're on the floor. They're in pain, but it's not like a life or death emergency. But
right.
I'm trying to figure out how I get this person back in their bed because they are bedbound, the husband. The wife is the one I talk to normally, and she's the one that did her cans, is running around, but she's going up and down these steps with cats dipping through her legs. She's got a cane, and I don't think I've ever seen someone go up or down stairs that looks more likely that they would fall than this woman. You know, like, she is just too old to have to do these things anymore, you know?
Right.
But I who am I to tell her what she can and can't do? But then the next hour of the day is trying to help this person into bed. And dude, it was so nerve-wracking because I'm trying to, like, get leverage on a bigger person, but I don't want to touch them inappropriately because I don't know them. Like, I don't know what they'd be offended by or not. I'm worried to use too much force. Like, they were very kind and grateful about, but I didn't want to, like, there was, like, you know, when you're trying to move something difficult, like even a couch, it's like tempers flare, right? Especially
yeah, of course.
When you're worried about, like, hey, am I going to break or dislocate their shoulder if I pull?
Yeah,
you know, like
100%. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know their medical condition enough to know if we can do this or if I'm going to try to help them and, like, break something.
Right.
But we did eventually figure it out, but I feel like it's a temporary fix where they're going to need
right, of course,
more and more help. And it doesn't seem like their kids are in their life much, or like, so I was, you know, we were talking on the phone last night. I found this, apparently my mom has done volunteer stuff with them, but it's the Council of the Aging, which is a crazy name. That's like a Tolkien out of Lord of the Rings, like Frodo.
The council.
Hid the ring.
We'll bring this before the council.
Yeah. To see if we can get somebody over there, because it's like pretty, I've said it before with medical coding stuff, it's just pretty amazing what we can endure and adapt to and survive, but also simultaneously be so fragile.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's a, what's the analogy is the frog in boiling water thing of, like,
yeah,
if you slowly increase the temperatures, like, they don't realize that it's getting, like, to a boiling point, because they adapt so quickly to it that they're okay until suddenly they're not. But that idea of, you know, the things are kind of going downhill around you. It's like a little bit at a time, and then suddenly it's 20 years later and you're, you know, bedbound, and, like, or your partner's bedbound, and, like, you can't, like, address these things anymore because you're not, you know, young and sprightly enough yourself to help lift them up and whatever. So, yeah, it's terrifying how that kind of happens. It's like, it's not a problem until it's a problem.
Yeah. It just reminded me.
It's easy to kind of let it go to the wayside until it's like very suddenly someone else comes in with a different perspective and is like, hey, actually, this is all fucked.
Yeah. God, you just reminded me of sorry, I spaced a little bit, but the frog boiling is, we use that term for like, you can't see when the change is happening. There's a better way to put it, and I forget the name of the theory in philosophy, but do you consider 1 grain of sand to be a pile of sand?
Right, yeah. It's like how many times do I have to put 1 grain on top of this to make it a pile?
Yeah, and with the frog boiling, it's like, do you know when it starts? It's like there's no definite way to know when, but it's to what degree. And it kind of reminded me of Loki's wager, where do you remember this by chance?
Not exactly. Go ahead, remind me.
Okay, it's from some dumb Norse prose, right? I hate Norse shit. I hate the welder guys, they always have the hammer necklaces we've talked about.
Yeah.
What is the hammer necklace? Is that from that's not Norse, is it? It's
that's it's like Mjolnir.
Yeah, the guys that love like Viking aesthetic and like Celtic shit. Oh man.
Yeah.
I hate all that shit. But Loki's wager is from the Norse trickster god Loki. Okay, this is Loki's wager. Loki made a bet with the dwarf Broker in which he wagered his head. And Loki lost. When the dwarf came to collect, Loki stated that he would relinquish his head, but noted that Broker was not entitled to any part of Loki's neck, because the wager was only for his head. After a discussion on the matter, while parts of Loki clearly belonged to the head or the neck, neither side could agree exactly where one ended and the other began. Loki therefore kept his head indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of that. There's a different name for it, but there's one example people go to in philosophy a lot about a boat. Where how many boards of a boat do you have to change before it's a different boat? Have you thought about that one any bit?
The ship of Theseus.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so the idea of like, okay, so you have to you replace pieces of the ship piece by piece. Is that still the same ship?
Yeah.
And then the thing I didn't consider that I heard the extension of that is if you took all of the original pieces that you removed from the first ship and then used those pieces to build a ship, then, and if you're to say like, though the first one is still that ship, then what is the second one? You now have 2 of the same ship, but they're obviously not the same.
You lost me
very,
a bit. But yeah. I know the type of arguments you're referring to. I heard 2 different answers to it that I thought were kind of interesting. But where was I going to go with this? Sorry, give me one sec.
It's parables all the way down.
Have you heard the term turtles all the way down?
I think I've heard you say that before, yes.
I've never used it before. This was the first time. I just took it out of the garage. I've heard it used, but
I've definitely absolutely heard someone else say it.
I don't know what it refers to, but I like it. That's turtles all the way down, dog.
I think the thing I've heard it's from what I understand, it's like the old map of the universe is like the world on a turtle's back.
Okay.
And it's like, but what's the turtle standing on? It's like it's another turtle. It's turtles all the way down.
Mm.
And that was my understanding of it.
If that's right, that's cool. But I remember it. So when we talk about how many boards of a ship do you have to change? How many pieces of sand? Where the frog, when did it start boiling? When we talk about these things, we're almost, especially the ship, but we're kind of talking about the true concepts of what a thing means, right?
Mm.
Like, what is a boat? What is a pile? The frog, I guess, is a little different, but I feel like there's something there. And then, because we're kind of, the meta of the podcast right now is we're not stepping away from politics, but we want to get back into some of the things we're probably more passionate about, like philosophy and art shit. But my point with it is like these things are like Plato's cave allegory. Like, what is a form? Yeah. What is a chair? What is a chair? I do have a little experiment. Do you want to try? This is a quick one, but it's kind of fun.
Sure.
All right, you have to actually close your eyes.
Okay.
I'll walk you through it. It's pretty short. All right, close your eyes. It's nice and cozy. You're exploring the dark space of your mind, right?
Okay.
I want you to picture an apple.
Right.
You see it?
I do.
Are you able to rotate it?
Yes.
Does that come naturally?
Yes.
Can you change its color?
Yes.
All right. Play with that for a moment. Now take that apple and replace it with another apple of a different color.
Okay.
Now, I want you to pretend you're in Photoshop and you're looking at your canvas, right? That kind of bird's eye view of where the true form of this second apple is in relation to the first apple, right? Now, delete the apples. In that same space of your mind, put an elephant.
Okay.
You see it?
I do, yes.
And you can compare it to the previous apples. Like,
yes.
Okay, now you can open your eyes.
Okay.
What was the size of the apple in comparison to the size of the elephant? And we're talking about scale.
Small. Actually, in my head, I pictured it as in, like, the apples were, like, arm's length out in front of me, and then when I replaced it with an elephant, the elephant was maybe a little bit beyond an arm's length out in front of me, but it was still very close, so I kind of backed out a little bit to see the whole elephant.
That's interesting. I don't know what that means, to be honest. So,
was I supposed to say they were the same?
Yeah, apparently most people see, when they picture the idea, the form, Plato's form, what is the substance of what a thing is, when they tend to picture it in their mind, things tend to be at the same scale. So they see the apple and the elephant at the same size. Where, like, relative, when I did this, not knowing what it was yet, when I do this, it's like I'm looking into a black room, and whatever object I picture fits inside of the same box. And I can manipulate it however I want. And if I chose to, like, enlarge the elephant or, like, play with scale and size, perspective, I can. But when I first initially picture them, they tend to be the same size. And
I think if I wasn't already picturing an apple, I think I would do that. I think because I was already focusing on an apple in that space, through your own direction, I kind of, created a space.
I didn't know whether to say that part. I didn't know if that would make it more likely or less likely. I kind of was like, bullshitting through it. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's an interesting part of it, but it's like, I made a space and then, you know, the apple being there.
I wonder
by reference, it's like, obviously an elephant is much bigger. So like the first thing I saw when
I thought of the
elephant was like literally just like the kind of the side of an elephant with like, it's like under its belly and the legs. And then as I backed up, I could see the whole thing. But if I just think of a picture an elephant, I can see the whole thing immediately.
You should run it
within the same frame
on like your niece or somebody who's like artistically inclined. Because I think maybe by mentioning the space, genes express themselves in environment. By addressing the environment, the idea is expressed in. I wonder if maybe that size perspective kind of like spoils the part that our mind might tend to do on its own of not putting it in a space.
If is it important to do the apple first, or would it ruin the experiment if I did?
I don't know.
Elephant first.
I have no idea. I know I'm pretty sure this was based off a real study, but I'm recalling it. I don't remember what the specifics of it were, but apparently most people tend to visualize the form of something in their mind's eye as like equivalent sizes, where like there might be other things people do or like other factors, but we tend to like visualize the idea of something more than the specifics. Like when you said you could change the apple or rotate it and stuff, for many people that aren't artistically inclined, they can't do that part of it. Like if I asked my dad to picture an apple like rotating, he just could not do that. His like visual imagination is not there. And I think artistic people tend to be able to have a lot more like creative freedom in those spaces. But I think in general, my understanding was a lot of people picture the form of something rather than the specific. Almost like when you look at how art AIs work, like a diffusion map where it's gathering and clumping areas of noise maps to transform into a picture or a piece of art or whatever. There's like that element of random fuzziness. And I feel like our mind does some of that too, where you might be seeing, until you focus on the characteristics, the specifics of the form of the apple, of the elephant, it tends to be very fuzzy, but you feel like you're seeing everything because you're identifying with the concept you associate with the apple of the elephant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the switching, it's interesting that, because you said, actually when you said, can you change the color of the apple? I realized that what I was doing wasn't even just changing the color of the first apple. Because like Red Delicious are usually different shape than like a Granny Smith,
sure,
or a Honey Crisp apple. They're similar enough, but they are typically like Honey Crisp are usually like a little more ovular and round. The Red Delicious are usually a little taller. Granny Smith is actually more typically like the apple shape that most people think of.
Because it's
and
the
like
best,
I was actually swapping them in
apple.
with different shapes of apples when I was, because it didn't look right to make the original apple. That apple like a different color. It made more sense to.
But even that's almost a perfect example of it working in a different way, because when I say the green apple instead of the red, like to change the color, your mind didn't want to just change the form of the first apple, because that would be a different apple in your mind. So it makes it new. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, I felt like I listened to some professor talk the other day, and it was very, very cheesy. It was like a YouTube short or bullshit, but he had an argument that for any problem you had in life, you could 100% solve rate it by spending 30 minutes in a dark room. And he said it very compellingly. but I think there's a lot to that of, it's just like meditation. Like, many people just don't ever give themselves that time and space. And we've talked about that in relation to like therapy and shit. Like, having to know you have a problem, but to have like the trust in self and like to give yourself the space to like work through it without the pressures of the outside world and just allow your mind to find answers, I think is a beautiful thing that
I 100% agree with that. There's, even it's not exactly the same, but just the idea of like what therapies helped me with so much is just making me feel like I had the tools to do something about, like, even if it's like there could be some, what's the word? When they use drugs that aren't actually drugs.
Placebo.
Placebo, yeah. There could absolutely be some placebo effect with some of it, but like just knowing that I have a plan of action to do something makes it a lot easier. And it's like very much a mind over matter of solving a problem. Like, it doesn't solve the problem per se, but it puts me in a position where I feel like I can. It kind of enables the power to do so. So like by removing, the other pressures on yourself, like putting yourself in a space where you feel like, okay, I'm going to buckle down and focus on this without any exterior stimulus. I can absolutely see like just that getting yourself, if you can get yourself into that mind frame to begin with.
Yeah.
Like you're on the right path. Or, you can always do the thing that you hear people say like, oh, this person who was gonna, tried to commit suicide and they jumped off a bridge, but they didn't. There's stories of people that did that and then they come to afterward and they're like, I realized halfway down that the things that I was so worried about before weren't that big of a deal. And like, I could have solved it. And, like halfway through my fall, I realized that this was a mistake and it wasn't worth it.
I hate those stories.
You can try that method and then
I hate those.
Maybe you fix all your problems on your own.
Do you not find those stories particularly upsetting?
Oh no, it's terrible.
I feel like there's such tremendous weakness in that. I'm not saying I don't have empathy for their position at all, but for it to take a failed attempt, for that to somehow spark a change in mind, how can those two things be congruent? You either should have wanted it to succeed, or you shouldn't have done it. I understand. Like,
it's the extreme version of the coin flip thing, right? Of like, you don't know if you're like stuck between two things, you don't really know. It's easiest to decide the thing you want after you've already flipped the coin. Once that coin's in the air, you know immediately what you want it to land on.
But I feel like if you survive and the first thing you do when you've regained consciousness or control, if it is not immediately try again, I don't know how you could ever trust that person's judgment on anything. I'm not saying I like think they're bad or like I don't care like why they were suffering or whatever, but like the guy I know that I think I saw him yesterday, not yesterday, like 3 days ago. The guy I've been writing about with the liver failure, I think I saw him and I couldn't pull over like, but I was on the highway type shit. And I think I saw him, and I think it probably wasn't him. But it, you know, when you see someone that you love or like that you thought was them, it triggers. Yeah. It's the apple. You saw the form of them, and it
exactly
triggered your brain exactly as if you saw them. And then you have to like deal with like the recoil of like, oh, that was them. Oh, that wasn't them. They're not alive. It's disappointing, or it was pleasant, or whatever that recoil is. I thought I saw him. I don't think it was him though. I think he's probably dead. But he tried to kill himself, woke up at the hospital, and immediately shot up in the hospital again, tried to kill himself. They thought they searched him and found all his shit. He did it again after they revived him. And the dude even had the foresight to have a DNR, where he later had a lawsuit against the hospital for reviving him. And after he finally left the hospital, he tried overdosing again. It's like that. I trust that person. Like, I don't.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean by that. I feel it difficult for me to say that not going that route is a weakness. I don't know that that's the right verb that I would want to use for that.
It's definitionally the right word.
Only because it's not nice.
But definitionally, you don't commit suicide out of strength.
Only because it's not going to be the same for every person, and I feel like there is room within that to. I don't know. I don't want to put that cat. I'm not willing to put that label on that yet. I 100% understand where you are coming from, though. Absolutely, I do get that.
Can I? I don't know how we're doing on time. Can I address
we are
this?
way over our projection.
Okay. Can I address this and we can get the fuck out?
Yeah, sure.
Here's my problem. This is like a Nietzschean language issue. And I think it is an issue in modern mental health care. I think we have a bigger issue than people realize with couching language for empathetic and good reason, where we don't want to say a suicidal person is lost or weak or things such as that nature, like addicts, mentally ill. Like, we don't want to call them weak or lost as a generality, because there's so many extenuating circumstances where I envision all the things the loser Republicans will like call snowflake shit, which is like, of course, its own equal, if not more, brain dead, like cruel version of it, where like, I at least can appreciate the empathetic version a bit more. But I think there's an issue of like, it is okay to be weak, and admitting that is like a huge part of becoming strong. And I think that's like a big part of recovery and like addiction stuff. And I think in mental health stuff, there's a lot of stigma. It didn't used to be that way, but I think there's a lot of stigma to that now, where you just don't want to call people that because it's not nice or not empathetic or enough, or can seem cruel. And I think it's a problem that we have allowed it to seem cruel, because everyone.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think you do. I just think there's a way in which I think we can embrace weakness and being lost that allows us a better routes to being strong or complacent or whatever. But like the person who tries to kill themselves and then immediately like figured some shit out on the way down, I don't trust that they figured anything out at all. Yeah, where I'm not saying that there's not like paths to strength and healthiness and happiness, but there's nothing in that fall down that should have offered anything.
The only thing I could see being beneficial in that is recognizing that, like, oh, I could have, reprioritize things, like even if it's like this doesn't make those problems go away, but I can make it so that they're not a priority to me,
I guess,
or I can make it so that's not something that I concern myself with.
I think,
and
sorry,
if you go through the motions of trying to commit suicide before you recognize that as an option, or recognize alternatives to it, I definitely get that in the way of like, okay, you didn't try hard enough. Like you took the easy route out, and you thought that this was the only way to go, was to just, kill yourself. And then by doing so, depriving the other people around you who do care about you, who do want you here, depriving them of, having you there. The idea of you're on halfway down and you're not finding the solutions to those problems. There's nothing there that's giving you the tools to which to fix the problems that exist, other than you just
change of perspective. It's a change of perspective, and then their will changes after, right? But I think, I think maybe you're bringing me around to a more accurate position, which would be, I think maybe I take more issue with the instant regret, where I don't like when people, and you see it all the fucking time in AA or NA, like addicts, where they get sober for a week and they think they solved everything, or they find God and they're completely a different person in like a week. And then you're like, okay,
I went to church on Sunday. Yeah. I'm healed now.
Yeah. Wait 2 weeks and we'll see how fucking stupid you are then. But it's more the instant perspective switch that I'm far more skeptical of, where it's like, I guess if you have a change of perspective, and thus your will, when you wake up after being recovered from the river or whatever, that's probably good. But there are no true solutions there, where whatever change you had is a trick, where you still have if the acknowledgement of weakness or being lost is not there still, and you just perspective snap out of that, you've missed the parts that will help you. Does that make sense?
There has to be practice involved, and it's in a new discipline.
Where like the people where it's like I
reprioritizing,
want to live, and I saw my whole life flash by. It's like, then I don't know how you figured out anything. There's no shot. Like I feel like you'd be in a way more vulnerable position than
I definitely get that, of like, even if the perspective switches entirely. I mean, like, no doubt for sure, like trauma, brings growth. Trauma brings
it can
change.
It can,
right? It can. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It brings change, I think is fair, because it doesn't have to
I would probably agree, but I have to think more, I think
it whether it's good or bad,
but it also can lock people into things too, where I feel like there might be a bigger nuance.
But that would be a change.
Potentially, I don't know.
I think that it alters perspective. I think especially something as sudden like that. Maybe it's something that, whether you thought it all the way through or not, you don't know what it feels like until you do it. And then, you
That's
wake
true.
up in the hospital and half your bones are broken.
That's what always scared me.
But you opened your eyes again when you didn't think you would.
That's always an odd feeling.
Waking up in the hospital with half your bones broken?
I've never had the bones broken, but waking up when you didn't think you were going to.
When you didn't think you would?
Yeah, that's always rough. You're like, oh, fuck. I have to refigure out my life, which I guess is kind of the same thing.
Oh, damn it. They're going to make me go to rehab again.
Yeah, dude. Fuck. That's such a bad feeling. And they took all the drugs out of the house? What the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like I could be flexible, but I think some of my intuitions about, well, it's more than intuitions, because I've not that I know shit very well, but I feel like I've read a lot about like strength with the ideas of weakness and strength, because it matters a lot to me, because I feel like I spent most of my life being very, very weak. And I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, but I very much feel that I've like tried very hard to continue evolving to be stronger, whatever. Like our last episode, I was memeing or whatever, but that the honorable mention, that song 8.6 Blackout, I truly do like that song, and there are parts of it I don't love, to be fair, but I joked about the last lyrics of the song being beautiful, but they truly are to me. To hear someone else scream them so passionately is genuinely moving to me, but I think the last two lines are like, I am free, I am God. And it's like, I just fucking love that shit. Like you said, the being willingness to enter the quietness of self and like trust you can figure shit out. I feel like that's everything. And I feel like there are so many things I'm like weak or bad at, but I truly do believe with enough time, which I know we don't have and is limited, but with enough time, I trust myself to figure out anything. Like I will build fucking pyramids if I have the time. You know what I mean? Like I know I can do shit, and I know realistically I might not have that time or opportunity to do even most of the things I want, but I do trust myself to be able to navigate that shit. Whatever it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but one of my buddies...
It's all motivational, and it's all here on the Trashcast.
One of my buddies recently agreed they'd... I just don't want to say who, but somebody we know I care about very, very much. They expressed some interest in reading the Satanic Bible, and I think I want to read through it with them. And I feel like that'd be cool, because I end up rereading it like every 5 years, and each time I do, I feel like more and more of it is like goofy trash, but the the important parts about it are become that much more important as well.
I think it's a funny evolution with that one, because very much so, I feel like the first time anyone picks that up, it's because they're like, oh, this is edgy and people are afraid of this book.
Yeah.
There's something powerful and evil about it. And then you start reading it, and you get through the first couple parts of it, and you're like, all right, I feel this, I vibe with this. And like, this makes me feel more like animal and real. And then it gets into like the magic and the religious part of it. And you're like,
these fucking nerds.
And telling me not to take a shower. Go fuck yourself. Sometimes I need to take. Sometimes I need to take a shower.
That's funny.
There's a whole thing about.
I already know. LaVey, embracing yourself. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, they're fucked.
But then you have to balance it with pride and take a shower every now and again. But you should have the willingness to allow yourself to be your most true self.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I love it, though. It's so fun. I feel like
it's like, do it, but don't do it, but do it.
Yeah.
But don't do it.
But I love those contradictions in philosophy. Like, I think that's part of the reason I like so much Nietzsche, because so much that he says contradicts, and it allows you to, like, pull what you want or want it to be or what you need when you want it. Like, I like that duality of thought to explore what, not necessarily what is most true, but what you want to be the most true to become your true.
Or to become your true.
Yeah.
Let's bookend it on that.
Yeah.
Let me give the people what they've been waiting for here, though.
Do it. Damn, dude. That's a callback, bro. That's what they give us the big bucks for.
All right.
Yep. They all just came a little bit.
just a little bit. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music.
His mucus. You can find it on SoundCloud.
Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his mucus. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John. If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art in its form on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZACX. We have a Facebook that once a week I'll repost a meme. And we have 10 reviews on Spotify now. If you want to be lucky number 11, feel free. And aside from that, we just appreciate you guys sticking around. Hope we're a nice distraction or something you can enjoy to hate.
It's everyone has to serve a purpose, and our purpose can be multifunctional.
And if you jump off a bridge, just fucking finish the job, okay?
Finish the job, yeah. or if you don't,
slowly change your mind.
Call us and be on the podcast. That would be pretty sick.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.